The chapter is very short. It has only 2 verses, and I'll read the 2 verses. Praise the Lord, all nations. Extol him, all people. For great is his steadfast love towards us, and the faithfulness of the Lord endures forever. Praise the Lord. Indeed, we praise the Lord for today. We praise the Lord for all that he has taken us through. We want to celebrate together with you who are celebrating different victories. And also, we want to condole with you who have lost loved ones, you who are going through all sorts of pain, all sorts of persecutions, tribulations. May God meet you at your points of need. Nevertheless, here we are with our Tuesday edition. Of course, today is family health. And now, because we know that Sunday is Easter, of course, it's a moment of feasting together. People are already excited to see that they join into the festivities. Of course, some will be traveling up country, others will stay, but wherever you'll be, it's very important to mind your health. This is a one day, so you do not have to eat it all. You do not have to cause harm to your body simply because of one day. Now today, we want to look at how you can have a healthy meal, even in festivities. Of course, with us is Daniel Kamara, who is a clinical nutritionist. It's a pleasure having you here once again.
Thank you, Edrine. Dear viewers, Kamara Daniel. I'm a nutritionist by profession, and I work with Bwindi Community Hospital.
How is Bwindi Community Hospital?
Bwindi is very good. When are you coming to see the gorillas?
Bwindi impenetrable forest. Impenetrable forest.
Yeah.
So are you close to that?
It is just 0.5 kilometers away from the hospital gate, and it is actually 546 kilometers from the city square here where we are to reach Bwindi.
I think I need some more time. But anyway, here we are, and of course the last time we had you here, we are talking about the 90 days of zero sugar. How far with the challenge? Has it ended? Is it still on?
Very important to notice that we marked a big milestone, Mr. Edrine.
Okay.
And we closed it on Monday. We have
yesterday?
Yes, we have our close-up space on Thursday, this very week. But over 20,000 Ghanaians participated in the challenge. We have over 55 recorded testimonies of how people have adapted to sugarless free life. Okay. But every time we talk about sugarless free life, every person comes on board and asks, but which sugars are you talking about? Because they will tell me even carbohydrates, even sweet potatoes, rumonde, all that have. But of course, we often tell them that these carbohydrates, they contain natural sugars. So the sugars that we talk about, they are the refined, processed, or added sugars. So these include all those that are bought from all markets that are available. That one you take directly, that you add in food, or you find them already prepared for you at a glance. So the Zero Sugar Challenge, we really want to thank you for giving us space, and of course for reaching out to many Ugandans as we can.
I was also part of the challenge.
You don't joke.
No, I was. Of course, that's why I look good these days.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, so I committed myself to this challenge last time you were here.
That's very perfect. I really want to thank Ugandans, and want to thank all nutritionists across the country. We want to thank them, and want to thank every person who took part in this very important challenge. I want to thank the Ministry of Health, the Nutrition Department, and the Non-Communicable Disease Department. Those commissioners were on our side, and they gave us very many scripts. They reviewed all those posts you'd see every day, and that was a very, very big input for us. And as the leading nutritionist for the challenge, I want to assure Ugandans that we are here to reach out wherever you are. For the nutritionist voice, we shall reach wherever you are. Whether you're in Kabera Maido, whether in Kanungu, where I come from, whether you are everywhere, we shall reach you out. We've created a WhatsApp channel. Over have 38k followers right now as we speak. So we want to reach out to all Ugandans. We have how many Ugandans? Maybe we have maybe
over 45
million. And how many are using smartphones?
Very many.
According to TCC, I think our target is to make sure that we have at least 3 million followers by the end of 2 financial years. so that we collect all Ugandans. Because as we speak right now, 75% of Ugandan diseases or conditions, according to the Ministry of Health, UDHS 2022, they are preventable. That means the heartburn, people complain of heartburn, it is preventable. Just because you are, the gastroesophageal reflux, the same, all those common, the diarrhea, the malaria, everything is literally preventable. But when you get back to the non-communicable diseases, where I sit most, where I want to bring out the emphasis, is that I want to encourage people to ensure that they take good care of themselves. For example, right now as we speak, 3 people in 10 Ugandans are living with diabetes. And 23 people in 100 are living with high blood pressure. And 8 in 10 Ugandans actually who live with high blood pressure are not aware. They aren't even on any treatment. So do not sit down and wait for complications and present with them. Some of you are presenting the hospitals with blurred vision. When the eyes get blurred or you aren't able to see, it's when you rush the health facilities. Or when you start getting neuropathies, the tingling sensations in the lower appendages, it's when you rush the hospital, and very many others. And you reach when the kidney is actually malfunctional. You reach when you need higher level of care that is expensive, other than when you came early. And you all know that 4 in 10 Ugandans right now, as we speak, have high cholesterol. And most Ugandans do not know even that they should do lipid profile. If you are 35 years and above, medical checkup should be a must. Because total cholesterol, your amount of cholesterol, Edwin, that you have, is very important. You should know if it is beyond the upper limit, if it is below the upper limit, if it is normal. Because this will tell you the future risk. You've seen obesity in children. It moved from 2.4 to 3.8. These statistics are very important before we talk about anything, so that we can see the disease burden that we have, so that you can pay attention, so that you know that your mouth plays a very critical role in prevention of such diseases. Because remember, when you speak about cancer, yesterday I met a friend and he was encouraging me to visit the Cancer Institute. I told him, I've been in the Cancer Institute and I often go there. I have patients. I can usually go there and review them. But he was trying to show me how the magnitude of the problem for the esophageal cancers, stomach cancers, and oral cancers has increased. But I tried to assure him by telling him that now the problem is worsening every day. Because, number one, of the cooking oils that we are using, Mr. Edwin, the cooking oils, when you open a vegetable oil, and again you boil it, you reheat it, and again keep it and use it tomorrow, that's dangerous. I want to once again, this is dangerous. Do not cause harm to Ugandans. Do not cause harm to us. Remember, if you heat cooking oil, you break down the molecules. After breaking them down, you render them free. Now they become free radicals. And they absorb toxins. Now, if a person takes the free radicals, they destroy the normal cell. Now the cell starts to behave abnormally. And that brings the cancerous cells. So it's very, very important for us to use the cooking oils very, very well. If you open the cooking oil and you reheated it, you heat it, do not reheat it again.
It's really unfortunate that, especially people who buy street junks, this is the recycling. I mean, this is the cycle that these stuffs are taken through. You realize that someone maybe uses the oil today, then they pour it in the jerry can, use it again and again and again, or sometimes they just add in what they already
oil.
have.
And I often use an example of Kamocha. That street hurts me a lot.
Please leave Kamocha to
not
be safe.
I love the coffee because I stayed in Kamocha. For 1 year and a half.
You're speaking in some of the people's hearts who stay in Kamocha.
Because
the people close to us.
Yeah, because I stayed in Kamocha. But every time I would pass in the street, and I would walk every evening. It was intentional because it was very close. But every time I would pass there, I would feel hurt. Seeing a person, and I will stand there for like even 5 minutes trying to buy. And see a person putting in cassava. After cassava, getting it out, they are bringing in fish, the fish cutlets. Now, in the same cooking oil, they are putting
chicken,
different foodstuffs at the same time or after a certain interval. That's not right. Different foodstuff desire or require different cooking minimum standards. Now, if you mix them up, really, the food practice is not standard. That's not right. Another issue I want to talk about is the Nansen Highway. Nansen Highway. They are getting these...
You're not talking about
Bwindi Highway, Nansana, and all this. They are getting these bottles of these company waters. Now they put munanas. I hear munanas, these local drinks, whatsoever. Then they put in a bucket of water for cooling. And after they put on top and sell. We are not discouraging innovators. We are not discouraging from doing good business. But we are teaching you how best can you do this.
Okay.
Could you please go to a plastic company and label your small bottles? You can even get the new bottles. After getting them, put Edrine Mukalazi, Edrine Dealers,
Edrine juice.
About Edrine juice.
Edrine Mukalazi sounds funny.
It sounds nice. I thought to the one who it is the name that could attract
juice is better.
Your target customers. So we are trying to tell the viewers that whereas we encourage them to do food businesses, but they should take caution of who they are feeding the food. Remember, when it is not safe, it is not food. When it is not safe, it is not food. Previously, they had an acronym for condoms. When it is not on, it is not what?
Safe.
But when it is not safe, it is not food. Now imagine, person has, we don't know how they pick those bottles. You don't know how they washing standards.
It is, the picking is very clear. Someone takes water, they throw it through the taxi window, and they have people who pick them and they sell them. And they are recycled, so when they give you the munanasi, you take, they'll come for that plastic bottle and reuse it again.
Now, what if a person had tuberculosis? Even leaving out that, if the bottle maybe fell in this miara that are over in our city places. You saw how rain came and every place over got flooded. Let's be cautioned of the food safety practices that we are having. Let's eat what we are able to see. So do you know why I lost weight, by the way?
I've not noticed that.
You're a very bad person. You don't wish me well. However, I do. The good thing we have the self-care guidelines right now.
Sure.
And the Ministry of Health and WHO wrote them to us. And nutrition is part of the self-care. What? I lost weight because I became skeptical. If you become so skeptical, which is wrong. It is not kweraga, but you become skeptical. If they serve you food, you say, okay, how did you do this? Like, you want to know, you just become skeptical. It is not. Now, did I give you my scenario? My last time I said, I'm going to start cooking for myself. Like, I must make sure I cook for myself. Or, if I am staying with someone and maybe I eat food from home. Okay, eating food from home is the main statement here. So I went to a restaurant. I'll not say the place here in Kampala. So I ordered for food. I was very hungry. I was actually, like, the whole day I had skipped meals. Patients were many. So by the time I left, it was already 4. So I was like, let me eat at once. So when I went to this very restaurant, I asked for meat, beef. There's beef is still there. So they brought beef, matoke, rice. So when they brought, I got 1 fork, touched on matoke and put in the soup. On eating, it was fish soup. I was like, I called her, please. Excuse me, first come. This soup is for fish, and I see meat pieces. Oh, she was like, we didn't tell you. The fresh fish got done earlier, and now we decided to get the beef pieces into the soup, because the soup in the beef gotten done, and we didn't want to waste. Then I was like, oh my goodness, how dangerous is this food
Now,
fraud.
now for you, it was your first time experience, and people who have grown up from Mama India Pole, they know very well that this is what happens. In some those were even lenient enough to at least give you
Because
fish
I was
soup.
their customer every day.
And you know what others do? When they realize there's some little soup, they'll pour in water and add in some little salt, and that's what they'll give you.
So from there, I said, please take the food. I didn't continue the food and went. Now, this is typical food fraud. Food fraud is the adulteration of the original food. In this Easter, I want to teach people to ensure they're eating safe food. I know most Easter, most few people go home. But if you are still staying in Kampala, make sure you're eating healthy food. Do not continue the food fraud when you are seeing it. I don't know, Mr. Edrine.
You don't see it.
Because, for example, I had eyes. But because if you think
had
maybe...
they given you maybe goat's meat soup with beef pieces, you wouldn't have noticed it.
That one might be
It was just
hard.
unfortunate that they gave you fish.
That might be hard.
Eh.
But let's be good consumers
Okay.
who know what they are doing. I also want to thank the Ministry of Health again. The Ministry of Health has come out with we are doing the food and nutrition bill. We spent some days in Imperial Beach and Tebe. And this bill is talking about, it is going to ensure that Ugandans are food secure. As you all know that 2 in 10 Ugandans right now have slept hungry. 2 families have slept hungry. And actually 6 in 10 people in Uganda, they don't meet dietary diversity. You know dietary diversity? It means eating foods from different food sources. Like if I asked you today, did you eat any fruit? Okay, that's your question.
Over we ask the viewer.
No, the answer is taken wrong. Okay, did you take any glass of water?
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Did you take any vegetable?
Yeah.
Okay, do you take any protein? Plant protein? Now,
they're asking you.
when we talk
please
about dietary
listen to this and
diversity,
meditate.
dietary diversity means meeting food groups of all classes, so that you avoid food monotony. Food monotony is when person wants to eat rice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Not because they like it, but because they do not what? They do not have.
They have no option. That's what is available. We eat to survive.
We are the bill will ensure that Ugandans are food secure to national level, community and regional levels.
So does it also involve giving people food from multiple?
Those are clauses. I will not read clauses.
Because it is also important that if this person is eating rice Monday to Sunday, and then you're bringing a bill that will eventually be an act maybe, then there should be a clause that says, okay, if you eat the only food you have is maize flour, posho.
So
Go to
that
such and
can
such a
help
place.
you diversify.
Go to Mwana Mujimu, and maybe they give you this. But anyway, we are taking a short commercial break. When we return, we are continuing with how you can have a healthy meal this Easter, probably for your safety and the safety of your family. Stick with us. We shall be back. Welcome back from the break. This is Family Hour. Edrine Mukalazi is my name, and we are glad that you are watching us today. We want to look at, it's really important that we eat healthy. Of course, we know that most of the non-communicable diseases that this country is grappling with are caused by our poor eating habits. It's really unfortunate that what we call good feeding, or what we call eating well, is actually the source of all this evil, if I can call it, but I mean the source of all these diseases. But we are looking at how we can have our Easter well spent, but in a healthy manner. Daniel, before the break, you had actually taken us through the bill and all those details. But now we look at someone who is already excited. They don't even know what to buy. They know where to buy whatever they want, but they don't know what exactly to buy for Easter. You know, this is a time, days back we hear stories that the only time you would know that today is a special day is when they buy soda, when they prepare chicken at home. This chicken and is rice, for every day, and maybe brown rice.
No,
white rice
for us in Kanungu, actually eating rice was on special days. If you asked even that guy in the control room, at home, rice would be on special days, like as in rice it is only for. Because matoke and Irishes, they are staples. So for them, they are always there. So rice, you eating rice was special. Until when I came to Kampala, I found rice is daily blade. I was like,
everyday food.
I cannot manage this rice.
But we are looking at that particular person who doesn't know what to buy, who doesn't know how to prepare what they have bought, what should they buy, how should they, and in which quantity, things like that. Because the day is soon, and today is the only day we have to talk about this before Easter.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Edrine. So when you talk about how to buy food, where to buy it, and even how to prepare it, it brings me to the issue or the concept of meal timing. Meal planning. I love meal timing. I don't know why. So when talk about
are you a foodie?
No.
I've learned a vocabulary of late. I'm a foodie. I was like, what does that mean?
I mean, I'm not a foodie. So when talk about meal timing, meal planning. Meal planning literally means that you plan for a period of time. Let's say a week. So if you have a family of 5 people, you even anticipate the guests that will come. So in Uganda, the problem is that you buy 2 per food for 5 people, which is wrong. So you do meal planning. If you went to Kalere
that's part of the planning. What if I get visitors?
You should know that you're getting visitors, so that you include them in the plan. So when you are planning for the whole week, for example,
the visitors we call abagwatebalaze. Those ones will never notify you. You'll just see them around lunchtime. That's so common in Kampala.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you'll only see them at lunchtime.
Or in the village. Instead, they come in the village. So at the lunch, people will not serve food in Kampala. So when talk about meal planning, literally means that the person takes time to plan for the rest of the days. For example, since Easter is a long period, and usually it starts from Friday. So like tomorrow, Wednesday, you would want to go to markets like Karere here in Nakasero, and you want to plan. Yeah, so for example, you want to shop. So you budget. You say the whole week my family uses 3 kilograms of rice. You see, my family uses 1 bunch of matoke. My family uses tomatoes equivalent to 3,000. My family uses onions for 2,000 for the entire. It uses bell peppers for these, carrots for these, greens it uses for these, and you buy and you take your fridge. Okay. And you start using them minimally. If you have house helps, you encourage them to be part of the meal planning. Reasons are because we want to reduce food waste. Whereas we say that 2 people are sleeping hungry, 6 people are wasting food here. You understand? And there is no way how we can recycle that food. At the moment here in Uganda, we do not have those systems to recycle your food except giving out to and destroying it. That destroys again climate. You see how the cycle returns and goes around and comes around. So when you buy excess food, you cook it, you eat it, and you have expenditure to waste. Now with the wastage, you've wasted food. We are sorry for you, but again you've declined our climate. Yes, that will be another topic, how nutrition food waste affects the climate change, and so much more. Number 2 is being considerate and being mindful. Being mindful means that you are you are conscious of your actions during food times. We often want to tell people that we should eat as if there is tomorrow. You should have the sense of humor with food. Should be calm, gentle, take your time. Food is yours. Understand?
If you're not hungry.
The third one is meal timing. Let's have meals, especially dinner or supper, not beyond 8 p.m. You see why people have heartburn? It's because they eat late. Heartburn is one of the most esophageal conditions. It is also called gastroesophageal reflux disease that comes when the valve that crosses the stomach and esophageal is weakened. And how is it weakened? By acid. So due to that, when you keep eating late, metabolism takes place. And imagine you eat immediately and sleep. Or you eat too much food that exceeds your threshold. You understand? All those predispose you. The next is cooking methods. Let's learn how to ensure that we do not lose nutrients in the process of cooking, serving, and eating them. Mr. Edrine, cooking methods, people all rant that for you to cook, you have to have cooking oil on table. That's number 1. And if you put cooking oil, you have to put onions and you wait. It boils, and you put
brown
and you make sound for the neighbors. And again, people rant
they should know
that if you put cooking oil, it has to be too much. So that when you put tomatoes, they have to sink and float. Those are wrong practices. What are good practices? If you have cooking oil, this Easter.
Which kind of cooking oil? Because we've been told that
we encourage seed oils.
Okay.
Encourage seed oils. Most people say they're expensive, but 18,000 you can get an olive oil. But know how you use it actually. Because on frying, we encourage shallow frying, not deep. So the shallow frying, you put it there, and when you use your finger like this to scoop, all cooking oil should come on your finger like this. So that means that actually, yes.
When you scoop like this
on the cooking pan, when you put a cooking oil and use your finger to round or to wipe it, it should all come on your finger. That means that
even if I'm frying eggs,
yes, that's the maximum cooking oil you can use at your home. So imagine a person bought maybe a cooking oil of olive for 18,000. How long would it last? Even if you were frying every day.
But now curry.
But because we just open power like salt. And do you know that 17.9 people are eating raw salt? So cooking methods away from there, eating uncooked food. Salt. Do not eat uncooked salt. People, you're adding salt in vegetables, on eggs.
You've not told us, before we get into salt, you've not told us about the dangers of using too much oil.
So the dangers of using too much oil, number 1 is that too much cooking oil is very dangerous, especially it predisposes us to the cardiovascular diseases. I want to use an example. You've seen these saturated oils. Okay, let me use an example of partially hydrogenated and fully hydrogenated. So the partially hydrogenated oils, these are the ones that are solid at room temperature. When you expose them to heat, they become liquid. You know those examples. the margarines and whatsoever. Then you have the partial hydrogenated ones, the liquids. For them, they remain liquid. So now what happens? Have you ever cooked beef at your home? You as Edrine?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a
and in the
professional
morning,
chef.
did you leave some meat in the pan, and in the morning you saw what happened? What did you see on the top of the saucepan?
The what is it called?
The fat layer.
Yeah.
Covering the cream, maybe. The cream can be so kind to the viewers. Now, if you cooked chicken, what would you find in the morning?
Just normal soup.
Normal soup, and not even layering.
Yeah.
What does that teach you? It brings the concept of good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. Now, the same happens if you eat these cooking oils that is not olive oil. The way you eat that beef, red meats are one of the exposures to heart diseases, especially the atherosclerosis. Over time, 2 to 5 years, these diseases actually do not come tomorrow. They take time, and they grow within your body. So what happens is that the way you eat that cream, it's the way it corrodes in the arteries. Over time, it blocks the blood flow. You understand? Now that brings a bigger problem. So the way you eat the cooking oil, the vegetable ones, the trans fats and whatsoever, that's the way it happens. Thank God that the nutrient profiling model by the Ministry of Health are doing an amazing work, and all products right now as we speak, they're going to be on a standard. The products that have sugars above minimum threshold of 1 gram, maybe they be about red. Products that have fats above 2 grams, they brought red. You put red marks, so that you buy it. When you are seeing it, you say, I'm going to die, let me take it. Or let me prepare my death early. Because now the nutrition fraternity is trying to look for ways how to help consumers. The advert is running, calling you to eat me. But before you eat me, take time and read. If you read me that I'm dangerous, would you still eat me? But do you have good readers in Uganda? We think that people will adapt.
We are.
People will adapt the new norms. What we are doing here is being reciprocated in UK. UK has, even if it is a chocolate, it has all the minimum, and they come in red. And when you're doing it, my friend sent me a picture from UK, and I was like, hey, this is how things look like. I was like, this is very good. Eating what you know, even when it is very stipulated. Whereas here we have a few products that are labeled.
But also the label is there. But I mean, the most important part is so faint that about the nutrients is so faint.
Yeah, but now the good thing is that,
and in a language that you don't even understand.
But the good thing is that now it's going to come in 3 colors. You're going to have white, red, yellow, and
independent.
I don't know. So, however, the food is going to be. So all
political parties are catered for.
Yeah. So we want to ensure that the people get to know their food they're eating, so that before the food reaches in Uganda, it's already marketed, and when you buy it from a high-level market that you guys love, the posh shopping, you are going to eat this and this. But I also want to encourage our viewers that eating health is what you're doing actually. Eating health is what you are doing. That's just a piece of encouragement. What does this mean? It means that just modify in your activities. Yes, a person, for example, will say, leave this. But now what will the people eat? You understand? That's ridiculous. And now we'd want to encourage our viewers, our Ugandans, that are eating healthy, and want to call upon them to keep eating healthy. They should observe a health eating plate. Friends, you see this fist of mine? It is not for boxing. In nutrition, it is used to measure your portion control. This fist is equal to your heart. So when you talk about, for example, if you've gone to hospitals, they'll tell you 5 portions of fruits and vegetables. They mean that 5 portions of your feast every day. That's why I was asking Edwin, did you take any fruit, and didn't you reply? But you're supposed to take 5
I
portions.
replied in my heart.
I know, I didn't say you didn't.
No, you said I
Verbally.
didn't reply. My heart replied.
So when we say that 5 portions every day, we really want to ensure that you meet the minimum requirements. You know that 89% of men here in Uganda didn't include a fruit or a vegetable today in their food. So literally,
Because it is luxury to very many people.
I have always complained. There's a hotel actually here that still serves fruits and vegetables to people. I told them this is bad. Fruits and vegetables, let people serve themselves.
Why?
Why should you serve me 2 pieces of watermelon and 2 pieces of papaya?
Accountability.
Which accountability?
The money you're giving me.
No.
Is
When
not
you say it is
what
a
if
buffet.
What if I put it
First,
there and you come
listen.
and take
When you say it
everything?
is a buffet, we want people to eat whole foods. Let them not be limited. When I say a person giving me 2 pieces, like, please, can you get me more?
We are living in hard times.
Which hard
Fruits
times?
are scarce.
Which are scarce.
Fruits.
I think actually it is a season of melons because melons are now very cheap. Mangoes, I'm seeing them speeding. Which season is this?
But the economy.
So the economy will not stabilize, but money is coming,
Yet we need
just
to
like
be
we were
healthy.
assured. Money is coming, but you should spend wisely the ones that you have. But most importantly is that I would also actually acknowledge the government of Uganda through the PDM. I'm not a politician, fortunately, but I love the
we get
PDM.
back to nutrition.
Yes, so
Fruits.
the PDM, yes, it enhanced the availability of food, especially the fruits and vegetables. When we were visiting some of the farmers, they used some of the PDM monies. You see, we reached out to like 5 people who supply Kalera market, and they told us how they increased the availability of vegetables in the market. So when you are saying that money is not available, but if you saw a batch of nakati for 500, you can ask yourself, can you eat even that nakati alone? You need to be like 3 or 4. So vegetables
eat it
are
alone.
very,
Is
very
it harmful?
I fear you. No, for you can. So
Is it harmful?
no, it's not. But I want to thank you, and I want to encourage our viewers to eat healthy all the time, and do not ignore the nutritionist consultation.
No, you're talking about the 5. You talked about the feasts, and you
Yes.
only talked about the fruits
And the vegetables.
and the vegetables.
So
what others?
So half of your plate should have fruits and vegetables, but on a health eating pyramid, they should reach 5 minimum portions. So for the carbohydrates,
So do I put them in my hand and then I count
when you
as
get a
one?
plate, for example, you make a half of it after you make quarters of it. So the biggest part should be for vegetables and fruits. The 2 quarters, one is for a carbohydrate, another one is for protein. So some of the proteins that we encourage are plant-based proteins. The legumes and the pulses, the nuts, peas, beans, lentils, and so ever. Then the proteins, we begin from the least expensive to the more expensive. Begin from the carbohydrates, Yes, carbohydrates. We talk about the whole grain carbohydrates. Very important that we encourage you to get carbohydrates from your plant sources, from your gardens, rather shopping these carbohydrates. If you shopped, go to original markets. Don't go to hyper markets, so that you meet whole grain food. So make sure your plate is leveled. When we talk about that health eating plate, they will make sure that the carbohydrate in the quarter is 2 tall and the vegetables are raw. No, they should be on the same level, so that we know what you're eating exactly. You should have a glass of water. Just know that men are supposed to take 3.7 liters of water every day.
Men?
Yes.
Why?
Then women should take 2.5 liters of water every day because of different body needs. Just like a man should eat 2,500 kilocalories every day, whereas women should eat 2,000 kilocalories every day. So the body demands of men and women are totally different. Yes. So generally, that's how health eating plate should be, but also be mindful of how you eat. If you ate supper, for example, maybe if you ate lunch late, around 4 to 5, you can balance your evening with a snack and then you sleep. Because when you sleep, when you've crowded yourself, you can't even sleep well. Even sleep snoring for your neighbors. You don't feel comfortable, right? If you're oversatisfied, you should sleep when the gastric is empty or when the stomach is empty.
Okay.
That's what we encourage.
So lastly, I've not heard you talk about proteins like chicken and meat. So, but I mean, this is a special day. What does this mean?
I'm sorry. I'm not mean. That's what I want to say. So I thought I had talked about them actually.
No, you didn't. You only talked about beans, peas, nuts. You left out these
I'm
things.
sorry,
They're very
but
important on such a day.
so these are also very important proteins that your body needs. So please have them.
Okay.
Please have the chicken, have the fish, eat them in plenty. But remember that in a day you should have 3 complete meals and you should not overeat. Just like you should moderate yourself. Moderation is very, very important. And just like I want to emphasize that the need for you to eat healthy increases every day. And as you age, the body's physiological demands decrease, whereas others increase. So it is my humble appeal to you that you observe your body's calling and nature. You respond to what the body is telling you and you eat healthy. If you're overgaining weight, if you're becoming obese, listen to your body. Step back. What can you do? Let this Easter be a time for you to celebrate with your loved ones, with your friends and families, but also to reflect on your eating health practices. I also want to encourage you to always consider seeing a nutritionist at least once in a quarter. Take some time. When you hear a nutritionist, go and visit them. Let them at least interview a few questions through our assessment forms so that you see where you are doing well, where you're not doing right, so that you are living at a standard. But I want to thank you so much, and I want to encourage you, and I want to tell you that when it is not safe, it is not food. And let's respect our mouth.
Thank you so much, Daniel, and to your viewer, thank you so much, you who started with us, and you are with us. We've come to the end of today's edition of Family Hour. Of course, we shall be coming back tomorrow, same time and same station. Edrine Mukalazi is my name. I've worked with Anaya, Muhumuza, Jonan, and from the entire team, we wish you a blessed night.